It's not like Russ is in OKC with Skip. They would probably run something by him back when he was winning MVPs or things of that nature when Kevin Durant first left. I'm pretty sure Sam Presti kind of asked him, okay, what do you think about playing with this guy? But in a situation like this, that ain't his house. Hell, they don't want him there. So how the hell he gonna welcome somebody else? Skip, I can't go to somebody's house and open the door like, hey, welcome, how you doing? Come on in. That ain't my place. So I don't really, and the way I look at it, Skip, I might have beef with you with rival teams or whatever the case may be. Once you join my team, all that stuff goes out the window. We just saw Jason Peters. Skip, he spent 12 years in Philly. You know how Philly hate the Cowboys and how the Cowboys hate the Eagles. And guess what?
More the Philly hates Dallas.
Right. But I'm just saying, but you know,
Dallas kind of looks down at Philly.
But it's a rivalry.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the same division. We play each other twice a year. Sometimes we might luck up and play each other 3 times because we meet in the playoffs. But once I'm on your team and you're on my team, bro, I throw all that out the window. We both try to do the same thing. We try to win here and try to win as many games as we possibly can, set ourselves up for the playoffs, and go as far as we possibly can. So I think that's the situation, what we see here. Of course, yeah, I'm here to compete. I'm going to try to help. I'm going to do everything I can to pull my weight. I know Russ is going to do everything he can to pull his weight, and we're just going to try to win ball games, as many ball games as we possibly can. So I don't look, and I get it. It looked like Russ was the only current player from last year's team that was there. I know Goat was in the lab. Goat was in the lab making a concoction. Yeah.
Was he practicing three-point shots?
Threes, free throws, layups, fadeaways, all of that. Yes.
Was he practicing? So I'm expect big improvement from LeBron James and from three-point land this year? Really?
Yeah.
Is he going to shoot 85%?
As long as he keep that average above what MJ shot, I'm good.
Really?
As long as he's a better three-point shooter than that, why you bumping him?
So he's going to make 85% of his free throws like MJ did?
Did MJ pass Kareem?
Huh.
Did MJ pass Kareem?
Huh.
Okay, then. Leave us alone. We working on stuff.
Huh. MJ played like about half the career LeBron's played.
Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Thought all of a sudden he could be Albert Pujols. Stop it. It's not my fault.
LeBron's Albert Pujols.
No. What my guy does is my guy stays in the lab, and he's had 20 years. But you make it seem like the guy's he just hopping on the bus now. He's just going on for a ride. We've never seen a guy in year 20 average 30. We've never seen a guy in year 19 average 25. We've never seen a guy in year 18 average 25. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Back to your latest addition, your newest savior, Patrick Beverley. He was presented yesterday like, we have a savior.
No.
We have a crucial new addition. Pat Bev. He's only been on 4 teams in 2 years, but now he's a Laker, which means we're back, baby.
Does Utah count?
Utah counted. They had him for a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
They did. They had him for a minute. They said, we don't really care about him because we'll take THT and, what's his name, Stanley Johnson. We'll take them. Really, we'll take them. Okay, once upon a time, THT was untradeable, untouchable. And all of a sudden, he's Utah.
Well, I think the thing is that they realized that in order for them to maximize THT, he needed the ball in his hand. You're not going to have the ball as long as LeBron and Russ is on the team. So you're not getting the kind of play and the kind of he's not able to maximize his ability. I think he'll be better if he has the ball in his hands because you saw, Skip, when Russ was out, LeBron was out, and AD was out, he had a 30-point game, a 40-point game.
He had a 40-point game.
Exactly. So that's what he needs. The game against, I think, Denver. I think that last game to him in might have been another game, but AR-15 went off on that. Excuse me.
He did?
Austin Reeves went off in that game.
Yep.
We've known it.
That is true. Back to Patrick Beverley. I love Patrick Beverley. I love his fire. I love his grit. I love his spit in your eye. I love everything about what a pro's pro he is. I love how he distracts. I love how he needles, how he gets under skin, how he figures every little way to get the most out of his ability.
Yeah.
And he is a pretty good three-point shooter, pretty good. He fell off last year, but he had 4 years in which he made 40% of his threes. And it wasn't that long ago, back in 16, 18, 19, and then 2021, he made 40% of his three-point shots. Well, that is a crucial new addition to the Lakers. So I love all of the above, and I love his attitude because he's the classic case of, yeah, I hated Russ when I played against him, but now he's my teammate. Well, I'm a pro, and pros say, you're with me now. We are united. We are one.
Yes.
And so I loved what he said when he was still sweating from his workout, and he sat down with the media, and Russ throws him a towel.
Right.
And he says, that's the first dime of the year. Way to go. Thank you, brother.
Right.
You know, okay. So he did said everything. Then as he got up to leave, he quick handshake with Russ, and they kind of gave a brief little semi-hug. It was semi.
Yeah.
But it wasn't full-on hug, but it was a semi.
Yeah, man, you've been sweating. I ain't trying to. I got my new threads on. I got my threads on.
That is correct. I'll buy that. Russell Westbrook came across as, I'm going to show up, and I'm going to bless him as my backup. Russ is still thinking, I'm the king of L.A. because I grew up here. I'm a Laker fan.
Right.
I'm the starting point guard for the Lakers, and Darvin Ham is the new sheriff. And Darvin Ham's telling me I'm his guy.
Right.
And I'm going to be his guy, and I'm going to be a starter for him because I'm pretty sure they're going to go forward with Russ. I don't see any trade on the horizon.
I don't either. I don't either.
All right. So the point is, Russ was actually big dogging, where he shows up to say, yeah, he's okay, he'll be fine, just kind of stay out of my way, but you can back me up, you can get your 12 or 14 minutes a game, but I'm going to start and I'm going to finish.
Right.
Well, I got news for Russ. He may start, but he ain't finishing, because right here, right now, I believe that Patrick Beverley is more valuable than Russell Westbrook.
I can't go with that far.
You can't?
I can't.
I can.
I can't.
Because I watched too much of Russell Westbrook last year.
I get it. Granted, even though Russ had his worst statistical season in a very, very long time, he's still a better player. I still believe Pat Beverley is more magician, so it's more illusion.
Well, what's the classic Russ quote about Pat Bev back in there?
Yeah, they're fooling y'all.
He says he trick y'all. He says he ain't guarding nobody.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
so
okay.
I think it's more illusion, Skip, than actual substance. But I think for his role, and like you said, he's an irritant. He gets you distracted by doing all this little stuff and clapping all in your face and yelling and screaming and all that. I get all that. But I still believe Russ is a better player. The difference is that Pat Beverley understands who he is, understands his role. Russ' role has changed, but he's unwilling to change with it. He thinks he's still in OKC. Well, I'm in OKC. I got the ball. I've got a high usage rate. I'm going to do what I want to do. No, you got two better players on your team. So you have to understand, as my role changes, I have to evolve with it.
Shannon, I got news for you. Pat Bev is a better defender than Russ, even if it's some illusion, even if there's some smoke and mirrors, he's still a better defender than Russ.
Yeah, because Pat Bev will try. Russ doesn't even try to play defense, Skip.
What does Darvin Ham value the highest? Well, obviously he wants Giannis to score 40 points, but in the end, he wants everybody to play team defense.
Right.
Well, Pat Bev will play. He'll try his ass off on defense.
He will.
Okay, so that's a big plus over Russ. And again, even though he didn't shoot the ball well, he was 34% last year. He's a 39% career three-point shooter, and he's had 4 years of 40%.
Right.
That's gold for the Lakers. They're a horrible three-point shooting team.
They are.
Okay, he was statistically, Russell Westbrook was the single worst three-point shooter in all of basketball. He's below 30. He's 29 point something.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can't tell me that Pat Bev isn't more valuable right now than Russell Westbrook. You're living in the past. You're thinking a triple-double run.
Skip, you say he's a terrible three-point shooter. Hell, he's a terrible two-point shooter, too.
He's a terrible two-point
free throw shooter. I mean, he's terrible at shooting the basketball.
He's got the worst hands in basketball.
Yeah, no question about that.
He's a turnover waiting to happen. He's a blooper reel waiting to happen. Pat Bev is a playmaker.
Right.
He's a smart ball handler. He will get the ball where it's supposed to be. It may not be the prettiest way to get it there, but he knows how to play basketball in ways Russ didn't. I don't think he ever learned how to play basketball. He is a solo act. He is hell-bent to the rim, come hell or high water or turnovers, because the ball's just going to fly everywhere. And if he gets to the free throw line, he was the fourth worst free throw shooter in basketball. I can't see how you can't see that right here, right now, Pat Bev is just better than him.
Well, because what they asked Pat Bev to do, let me ask you a question. Do you think if Pat Bev could be the third option on a team? Well, the problem is Russ is the third option, but he sees himself as the first or second option. That's why I believe he struggled. I don't believe Pat Bev has really ever been the third option on a team. He's been relegated to the four. Oh, he's a great role player. He understands that. But, Skip, they're not trying to go to him to get buckets. Russ, you're still asking Russ to get you 15 to 20, and I believe he can give you that on a consistent basis and on a more efficient level if he was just willing to accept that.
Okay. Mark Stein continues to report that Jeannie Buss is leaning heavily against just sending Russ
Yeah, I
home.
told you that, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was the first to broach the subject.
Yeah,
and then people started to react to it like, well, wait a second, maybe they should just John Wall him.
No.
Just wall him off.
No.
Send him home,
No.
give him his $47 million, pat him
No.
on the head and say, thank you very much, see you later.
No.
Okay, well, she's not going to do that because pride, and they're the Lakers, and you're not, and we're not going to do it that way. And she has commissioned Darvin Ham, mandated that Darvin Ham fix the Russ problem. He will not be able to fix it. I'm just here to tell you, right here, right now, if there's no Russ, if you did send him home and you started Pat Bev every night and played him, I don't know, 30-ish minutes a night, 28,
25.
Okay, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, they would be a better basketball team with Patrick Beverley backed up by Kendrick Nunn, who's pretty good.
Well, here's the thing, though, Skip. Basically, Jeannie Buss said, Darvin Ham, look, we gave you some electric tape or we gave you some duct tape. But you got a year to put this thing together and hold it together with Russ on this team. Because that's what you're doing, Skip. You know he's not going to be there in the future. But we can't get off him right now without having to give up those 2 first-round picks. They're doing everything they possibly can. They were willing to give up those 2 first-round picks for Kyrie. I'm not sure they're willing to give up those 2 first-round picks for any other trade. It's not the Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, not for Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson. I don't believe they're going to be willing to give up those 2 first-round picks. And the thing was, not only did Indiana want